All right, everyone, we are back live here at the Ron Clark Academy for the 2024 Amazing Shake competition. I'm Kirk Brown, Chief Development and Communications Officer here at RCA.
And I'm Kim Bearden, the co-founder and executive director, and we are here live in the gauntlet round number 1, and it is already very, very exciting.
It is, and y'all ain't ready for what y'all about to see. I'm trying to tell you.
So we put a little twist on this year's Amazing Shake. The Amazing Shake is a Super Bowl of soft skills, so to speak. Our students have to learn how to give a firm handshake, look someone in the eyes, speak with confidence, be able to handle all different kinds of scenarios. But today we switched it up, and it is a simulation where they're actually going on a trip to New York City.
To New York City, and they got to do all kinds of amazing things on their trip to New York City, from walking up to a Delta ticket counter to all the things that you'll see as we walk around the gauntlet floor. But the gauntlet is themed this year. It tells a story from each round and builds on each other, which is the very first time that we've done something like this in the Amazing Shake, which is really, really exciting.
Yes, usually we change it up. Every station is completely different. But here, the students begin, as you can see, there's a Delta check-in counter. They're going to go and they're going to check in for their flight. Along the way, we have to put in some little twists and turns. So right here, first thing happens, they can't find their reservation. How do they handle that situation?
How would you handle that?
Yes, and so we've all seen people act very poorly at the airport. And so they finally do find the reservation, and then the students come to this next station where they have to give their ticket, only to find out that they can't bring their bag on the plane because the bag is full. It's happened to all of us as well. And also at the gauntlet, while we're broadcasting, this is an opportunity for us to show you how well Kirk and I walk backwards. Okay, so without tripping ourselves. And so right here they check in, and so they're going to be showing that, oh, in fact, it's okay, it's all right if we check our bags. And so I think that we might need to swing around to this side of you so we can kind of show you where we're heading here.
One thing also is really cool. So if you take a look at our Delta folks, we have real Delta flight attendants, employees who are here dressed in uniform to really bring this station and this experience to life, which I love it. The Amazing Shake is all about the details.
It is.
And the details are certainly in play here today. That they look so sharp in their uniforms, and the students are interacting with real folks who work at Delta Airlines.
And about to past us, well, in a moment, will be Dante. And he was actually an incredible competitor last year. Yes. So I know he's ready to do things. We need to go ahead and be on this side of you every time. So we'll go ahead and walk backwards this way so you can see the station.
So we're walking down the bridgeway here. They've checked in, and they're getting on the airplane.
And so when they get into their seat, they actually have to have a 2 or 3 minute conversation with the person they're sitting with on the airline. So see how well they do in engaging in conversation with the people on the plane. So we'll go ahead and take you through this way.
Wow. You'll all know when you sit beside folks on the airplane, you never know who you're going to sit beside. Sometimes folks want to have conversations, sometimes they don't. How do you navigate that? So they're here on an actual plane having those conversations, which is great.
You know, we do teach our students when they get on a plane etiquette. You don't grab that seat in front of you as you're getting into the seat. That you're very you put your earphones on. We tell our students that if they hold their earplugs right here and they can hear the sound,
it's too loud
because it's going to bother the person next to them. So we actually teach our students airplane etiquette here at RCA.
Yeah. And it's in play here in the gauntlet, the Amazing Shake.
Now this next part is fun because of course after you get off the plane, you've got to go get a ride to where you're going. And so now they're actually getting in cars, in a cab and in a Lyft here, Uber, Lyft, and they're heading on their way to the hotel. How well do they engage with the person who's driving the car?
I love our volunteer here. She's like whipping that car pretend style, right? I love it.
What's so cute is that our community members here who are doing this, they're actually driving the wheel. They're driving the imaginary wheel, which is great fun to see them continuously do that. So let's kind of move over out of the side over here and we can get a second for you to see.
Oh.
Right there in the cab, you'll see Dylan Andrews. She's also always one of our top competitors in the Amazing Shake. So as you can see, she's being very engaged.
I love it. So we have Dylan Andrews here, 8th grade student, also a really tough competitor last year in the Amazing Shake competition. And so interesting seeing how she's navigating these rounds as well. She's definitely one to watch this year for the Amazing Shake. And so just paying attention to all the things happening here. Lots happening here on the gauntlet floor.
And absolutely. And one thing I know, you wish you could hear everything the students are saying, but if you even just watch their body language, the eye contact, are they leaning in? Is there a smile? Are they sitting up? You know, those little subtle things with body language are also important. And so that's something that we talk to them about. So even if you can't hear their answers, you can see how they're performing when it comes to that part.
Right. How well do they use their hands? All those kinds of things. The be paying attention to?
So now we have the situation where they're checking into the hotel and the room is not ready yet. And so how do they handle that? They're asked if they want to store their luggage and have the room wait for a little bit. And they're actually going to be asked if they'd like to go have a seat at the bar while they're waiting for their room to be ready. No alcoholic beverages will be served.
H2O only.
That's right. As a matter of fact, when they get to the bar, which I'll show you in a moment, they ask for a drink, but then find out that they're only serving water. And so even how do they handle that graciously? You know, oh, it's okay. How do they deal with that situation?
But I just love how this station is set up. I mean, just look at the backdrop here. You have the whole counter. I mean, it looks like you are checking into a real hotel. So again, for me, it's the visuals that bring the Amazing Shake Gauntlet to life. And so I got to give a shout out to Hutch, Cookie, Ethan, for bringing
Latasha Louise, Cam Bradley.
Yeah, it's incredible what they've done here in the Gauntlet this year. And so shout out to our front desk attendant here.
Absolutely. And then here is the bar. It is the juice bar. So at the bar they're sitting. She's shaking up the water.
I love it. This bar here is hilarious. This H2O bar, right?
So as you see, we have community members here who are judges. All of them are people from different organizations, different companies.
Board members
that are here. And so the judging, they are meeting some of these students for the very first time. And so they're the ones who give the actual scores. But what I love is how much fun they're having with it.
Yes.
So because water's being served, she was shaking up that water. She was making her a cocktail.
Oh,
but how do our students interact? Even sitting down on a higher bar stool and interacting and being engaged with someone side by side versus someone in front of you in the lift car versus someone across from you.
Across from you, yeah.
Because if you look right behind us here, this is breakfast at Tiffany's. So after getting your drink at the bar, the students will go and have an interview here at Tiffany's so that they are asked about their job interviews and so their interview skills. And so you can see, but also there's a lot of glasses on the table, some forks, some knives, and so just seeing how they handle it. How do they handle the different situations? Where do you put that napkin? When do you put that napkin down?
Right.
All of these things are very important.
And as you see, the theme of New York City shines through at every station, as we mentioned. Each station builds on itself. It tells a story. Breakfast at Tiffany, iconic restaurant in New York City. And so the students are doing that here. Again, trying to walk backwards. Not the best at it, but we're making it happen.
So now, after they go to Tiffany's, then they have an interview with Truist Bank. We actually have a person from Truist Bank here who's interviewing them and asking them how they would be a good employee for the bank, what would be their role, how they could contribute as a team member. And then there is an interview with the New York Times. And I love this one for the New York Times because we study current events in school. We learned all about Sports Illustrated recently, laying off their employees because of ChatGPT was writing the articles. And so it's a little twist on that. It's the New York Times. They're going to be hired for a role, but when they're hired for this role, do they fear that perhaps their job will be replaced by ChatGPT? So they have to be able to speak about that and their understanding. Some of the rounds today, the students had the opportunity to prepare for ahead of time. They were told what's going to be coming. And some of the rounds, they have no idea. They're operating blind.
Yeah, which is an important skill for the Amazing Shake as well. It's just an important life skill. How are you able to sort of navigate on-the-spot scenarios?
Right.
And be quick on your feet. And so the Amazing Shake teaches them that, but it also teaches them preparation because we did give them some things to prepare for. How well do you seize that opportunity and really get prepared for those challenges so that you can show up as your best?
Absolutely. And then if we move on down, we have Nike. We have a real employee from Nike and another one of our school partners, and they are going to be asking, how do you help increase profits for Nike? How could you do that for us? So this is a round where they were given ahead of time. You're going to need to be able to go in as a CEO and explain how would you be able to increase profits. So first they have the interview for the Nike job, and then they become the CEO back here where they actually go into the room and they actually have to pitch their ideas for increasing profits. So did they study for that? Did they prepare for that? That'll be interesting to find out.
Definitely preparation is going to be key here because you may not know that as a middle school student. What are the things that I would need to know to increase profits? So if I have this ahead of time, I'm going to be doing some research ahead of time so that I come in prepared to get that response to the judges.
And logical answers. So we've told our students, you can't just say, well, I'm going to raise the price of all the shoes to $1,000 because, would people buy them? Or you can't just say, I'm going to give all the shoes away. So they have to have an understanding of economics, of sales, of marketing, of all of those different things. Oh, well, we get somebody else to be, someone to endorse our shoes. Well, what is the cost of that?
Yes.
So they're taught all those types of things when we talk about marketing, finances here at the Academy.
So this is the actual boardroom that they will have to go in and pitch, right, Kim?
Yes.
Yeah.
So this is where they're pitching their idea for how to increase the profits at Nike. And so I'm dying to hear what some of the answers are, as you are too, I am sure. But imagine you, if you're watching this as an adult, if you had this opportunity as a middle school student. Our whole staff always say that we wish we could go through the gauntlet.
Please go through the gauntlet, please.
Yes.
You're an adult version so that we can, would you go through the gauntlet? Let us know in the comments. If you're an adult, would you go through the gauntlet? And how well do you think that you would do? I'm just curious.
Yeah, and many of our alumni have said, can you please do an alumni round? Can you please do it with alumni? And it's some of those things maybe in the future we'll be able to do, but it is exciting, but it's also a great way to really keep those skills sharp and on point.
For
So
sure.
if they learn how to do this, think about this, in middle school,
Oh my
it's going to serve
goodness.
them forever.
Yep.
So there's 2 different boardrooms here. Same challenge in each room is just so that the students have the opportunity to 2 people at a time. And then right over here, okay, this is fun. If you've ever been to Times Square, there's all the characters at Times Square who have the different costumes on, and they're always wanting to get a picture,
Always
get a
want
picture, get a
pictures.
picture.
Yeah.
What a lot of people don't know is they charge you for that
Yeah.
picture. So they're going to, let's take a picture. They take a picture, but then they're going to be questions. Well, that's $20. Well, the
Yeah.
students don't have $20 on them.
How do you navigate that scenario?
How do they navigate that? Are they apologetic? You can't just be like, too bad, and walk away.
walk away, right.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I apologize. I did not understand. So let's see how that's going right now.
He's getting shaken down over
They're
here.
asking him for his money, and
Paul's
Paul
like,
looks
wait.
sufficiently uncomfortable with that.
Like,
That's
wow,
not really
okay,
happening,
what am I
buddy.
supposed to do here?
But that's what the real scenario that's happened. We've had students out of town before where that happened. We're like, no, because they're going to charge you. They didn't know. So
They
they
didn't know.
do know now. We've told them that that's what happened.
Right. So it's a scenario here that they should know and that they will have.
And I just love just the visual right here of this whole scenario, though. I mean, here we are in Times Square, transported there right here in our school gymnasium. So shout out to our team for doing an incredible job
It looks
with that.
beautiful. I love this station right here.
And yes, those are community volunteers dressed up in those costumes for us, too. Tell me they're not good sports as well. So right here we have Central Perk from Friends, and the idea here at Central Perk is that they're interviewing for yet another job, but with the emphasis on being a good friend, a good teammate, someone who works well with other people. How do they pitch themselves as someone who works well with others?
Yes, that's an important skill. Teamwork, they're going to have to use that in high school, in college, in their careers. And so getting them in the mindset now to be able to think about, okay, how do I actually answer that in the right way, that a skill that I would use every day and how I would build on that. So that's important here in the gauntlet as well.
Okay, so here's my favorite. So this is the Met Gala. And the question is, who are you wearing? They're all wearing their school uniforms, but this is an opportunity for kids to have a little fun, explain their ensemble, where it's from, the designer, in a very clever way. They can make up stuff all they want,
whatever, right.
but it's a good way to show that a little bit of personality.
Yeah, just a little bit of fun too, right? Because as we mentioned, the Amazing Shake is, some serious and some preparation with some business, but also how do you have fun as well? They're middle school students, and I got a little birdie that came over and told me that one of the students said, "I'm wearing the Kirk Brown special."
So Kurt Brown is
said,
known for
wait,
his
what?
sense of fashion, and he has been an inspiration to many.
That is
so,
hilarious.
yep.
I died laughing.
That's kind of that's a term in my house too. Yes, I would look at Kurt Brown for that event. That's what my sons will say. So I get it. So over here, this is interesting. Many of the shows on Broadway have been adapted from television or movies, and so the idea is that they're going to be pitching to this producer on Broadway, what would be the next great Broadway show? What would it be based on? What would it be, a television or an adaptation from a television or movie that's out currently, or one from the past?
I love it. And our volunteer over here, Kayla, she volunteers year after year at the Amazing Shake. She loves it, from Salesforce, and so we're just so appreciative to have her here with our students and pouring into them as well with this round.
So if you're looking for ways to engage your community and your school, this is it. Absolutely. Even if you don't have all the backdrops, all the materials like that, just to have them come in, engage with the students, have some scenarios where the students walk up and have to introduce themselves and engage. It's such a powerful thing.
Yes.
And as you see, these volunteers are having a blast doing it as well.
I mean, and it builds that confidence in our students that we all know is so important. Skills that they will take with them for life, their self-esteem. And so as we're thinking about ways to really pour into our kids in a fun and a gamified way, the Amazing Shake checks all those boxes. So I love that for them.
Love it, absolutely. And so then we're going to move our way around. Let's see, we've got to get back up here to Central Park.
So we're going to walk over to Central Park, which is another really fun station.
So they're meeting in Central Park, and the idea here is, we understand that you're new to New York City, and you're here to seek out volunteer opportunities, ways that you can get involved. So what would be some of your interest, and how would you like to volunteer? And then maybe this person can guide you. Now, once again, it's middle school. We got to have a little fun. We got a squirrel over there trying to distract them. I don't know if you can see behind the tree, but we have a squirrel right here in the trees trying to be a distraction, doing all kinds of bizarre stuff behind them. So some of the kids probably didn't even know the squirrel was there. Others have been highly distracted by the squirrel.
Right. So again, things to throw them off their feet, things to infuse some fun and laughter in the Amazing Shake. It all happens here.
Absolutely. And then if we look right here, so this is the Statue of Liberty, and obviously, and what students have to do is, we talk about current events at our school often. We talk about issues with immigration, about the border. Our students are never told what to think, but just how to express what they think, and how to be able to explain that. And so there's a tourist here who sees them at the Statue of Liberty and says, this says, hey, bring us, you're tired, you're poor, you're hungry. Is that true today? Are we doing that? Are you doing this in the United States? Should you take everyone? Should you not? They have to be able to explain that, and explain that in a way that supports and defends their answer.
Yes, that's absolutely what Kim said. We teach and we talk about all these different concepts that happen in the world, not what to think, but how to express your thoughts about what you do think. And so that's very important here.
Really, to be able to even explain both sides of it, because we really want students to understand, to have a full concept and understanding of different sides of every issue so that they can make an informed decision.
Yes. And I think is it the popcorn station in there?
Oh,
yes.
So, yes, we missed a station. So when they walk in, let's see if we can kind of take a peek.
Let's take a peek in here.
So here they're going to see a movie, but they're going to sit down next to someone, but they got to be eating while they're, eating their popcorn and stuff while they're in the station. How well do they do that without making sound? Because Mr. Clark and I, we both have this issue when we go to a movie when someone is eating really loudly and it disturbs the movie. And so we're trying to raise a whole generation of children who can eat quietly in movies.
Yes.
You're welcome. Okay, so if you come right here.
Sorry. All right, so we're going to peek inside and see what's happening here in just a second. I think we may be too crowded, though.
Here's their concession. So it looks like I don't know that we can get in there, but as you see,
we're going to move out the way here.
Stand items. So they got their concession stand. They go and they sit down. They're in a movie. They're eating during the movie, and then they have to do so quietly, but also not talk with their mouth full, engage with the other person. So
they're getting scored on all of those dynamics there in that particular round, which is very interesting. So I'm curious to see how they're going to score there, because a lot of folks chew with their mouth open, they don't realize it, and so they're going to get points off of that if that's the case here.
Absolutely. So then next we have Showtime at the Apollo. So here, students are asked to give a 1-minute performance of some type. We showed some of those earlier in some of our different clips that we were showing from up there when we were in the booth. But the students have 1 minute. It could be a dramatic monologue. It could be a joke. It could be a song. It could be a dance. It could be anything that they feel like they want to pull out and do. And kids we've seen them doing stepping. We've seen them singing,
dancing, doing
monologues, flips.
I mean, we've seen it all here already.
Would you have had a talent? What would you have done?
Oh my goodness, my talent! I probably would have turned my body into a pretzel.
Can you do that? This is a hidden talent I did not know about.
I could turn my legs into a pretzel. I'm kind of flexible with my legs.
So there you go.
I probably would have given a speech as a pretzel.
So you know what I would have tried to do? I would have tried to bring a musical instrument and hide, because they did know about this station. I would have tried to figure out how to have it with me and then pull it out, because nobody's done that. And all of our kids play instruments in the 6th, 7th, and 8th grade.
That is something that they're
missing
out.
I would push the boundaries of the rules a little bit, but sometimes that's how you set yourself apart.
Absolutely.
I would have pulled out that clarinet.
Oh, Lord.
That may have lost it for me. I don't know.
I was about to say, what song would you play?
So we have one more station before the ending station. So let's go this way.
That clarinet, I'm dead. Okay, so
they're in the subway.
They're in the subway. I want to take a look over here because McLean is singing. So let's take a listen. All right. Well, there you have it. McLean
McLean is a
talented
member
singer.
of the Georgia Boys Choir.
Yes.
So there you go. If you're wondering, yes, he does do this often, and he's an incredible soprano. I mean, just that high.
Oh, my goodness.
I don't know if the word
wish.
is it soprano for a male? Is it soprano?
Yeah.
I don't know. He's got an incredible voice.
Yeah.
He's
Soprano or
incredible.
alto, one
I
of
went
them.
to watch his Christmas concert. It was incredible.
Yes. Wow. So all kinds of talents here. And we get to see some of that here at the Apollo. And then the last station here is the subway map, right? And so we teach our students, you've got to know how to read a map in any place that you go. And so their challenge here is that they got to figure out how to give instructions or directions to how to get from one part of the city to another part of the city using the express line. And so the students have to give accurate descriptions, just instructions. How well do they do that? The judges are paying attention to that.
And we do this because we want students who really do feel confident when they're older, going places and getting around, not being afraid to travel, not being afraid to even travel alone.
Yeah.
Knowing that I can navigate my way around the city, I can do that because I've been prepared to do so. And so it's a powerful thing in more ways than just for the competition in the gymnasium, for sure.
These are life skills, which I love the Amazing Shake because it's planting those seeds again that they will use with them for the rest of their life.
So if you just joined us, that is the gauntlet floor. We wanted you to see firsthand every single one of the stations. The students have been scored 1 to 20, actually 0 to 20.
0
I
to
keep
20,
forgetting.
yeah.
You could get a 0 at a station. 0 to 20 on their confidence, their eye contact, their poise, their je ne sais quoi. Those scores, after they complete the gauntlet, they walk out of this room, and then they have some applause that are given to them, and they're asked to talk about their experience, and that is the last scored station. And then their scores are tabulated in a room, and then we will be airing live in just a bit the final scores, who the top 30 are. The top 30 students will be whisked away, taken off-site to go further their competition all around at different corporations, businesses, at different places in Atlanta today. And then the students at the very, very top tonight, we will be taking them to New York City for rounds tomorrow. Yeah. So you've got to tune in all throughout. We're going to be keeping you updated. You know, make sure that you put names of those kids that you want to shout out, that you really are cheering for, even because they're all working hard. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, they're working extremely hard. And I also want to give a shout out to our sponsors again for making this 2024 Amazing Shake competition happen. So I want to give a shout out to Austin and Bird. I want to give a shout out to Wilmington Trust, Bath and Body Works, also Sonny's Barbecue, and one more that I am.
Delta
Community Credit Union. Thank you so much, Tim. Appreciate you. So I want to give a shout out to all of our sponsors for making the 2024 Amazing Shake happen. We've got volunteers from all these companies here, and it takes a lot to put this on, and they've entrusted in us to make this happen for our students and to pour into them. So shout out to our sponsors.
And again, if you are looking for resources for your school, go to theamazingshake.com.
Yes.
And also know that we will be holding our Global Amazing Shake with students from all over the world here at RCA March 22nd and March 23rd. More information at that can also be found on theamazingshake.com.
Theamazingshake.com. All kinds of resources. How do you score the competition? How do you get judges? How do you get people to volunteer? We have outlined it. There's an entire guidebook, though, that's there for you as well, that you can go through, flip through pages. It answers all the questions for you. So make sure you check that out on theamazingshake.com.
All right, so we'll be tuning out now. The next time you'll see us, you'll be finding out who the top 30 students are from the gauntlet rounds.
All right, we'll see y'all here back in just a little bit. Take care, everybody.